You too. As I can hear by my voice, I've been sick a couple of days. Last time I posted was what I think yesterday, but then previous before that, it was like 4 days ago. So I'm still sick, but it's a cold. It's going. You can see how ashy my hands are. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you can see how the skin's starting to peel. And there's no point of, you know, keep putting lotion on because every time you lotion your hands and you blow your nose or whatever, guess what? Redo it again. So you're gonna wash off all the lotion. So I just been keeping my hands, you know, like this. It is what it is. But today, without further ado, I wanted to kind of ease our way back into this content, and I wanted to basically uh just kind of like mix it. I like mixing things up. I'm thinking about buying a car in a couple of months. I was gonna buy one, trade my Mustang in, and go get a nice pickup truck, but I'm not trading the Mustang in. I had a little bit of a confirmation. I was going to Costco, so went to go buy some food and stuff like that, and I seen a guy in like the toy section. He had like these model cars. He was just grabbing stacks of them. And I forgot what I said to him, but we ended up sparking a conversation. He was pointing to a Mustang, saying, "Look, I got this Mustang at home." Um, I think his kids or whatever came around the corner. And they was like, he got a bunch of cars at home, like a bunch of model cars, and we were just stacking them. I'm talking about like 20. Y'all know the cars I'm talking about. They probably like this big. Hold on, change the camera. They like this big, saying this big, big as hell. Close that. That's the bathroom. But I'm like, if you stacking a bunch of cars, what you call it, like that, then he really must be into cars, and I am too. The only thing is, I'm into not just the models like him, but I'm also into the real joints. So he was talking. He's like, man, you know, I got an old Mustang. I said, yo, Mustangs are my favorite from old to new. I've always loved Mustang. That was my dream car. I always wanted it ever since I was a kid. Ended up getting it when I got older. And I was like, you know what? I was going to trade mine in for a Ford Raptor. Y'all know big body truck, highest model of the F-150. And I was gonna get a 2021. It only had like 12,000 miles on it, and it price wasn't that bad. Now my Mustang, when I bought my Mustang, it was like 12,000 or yeah, 11 to 12,000 miles on it too. So I was like, man, I might just go to New York, go trade my Mustang in. And the amount that I had to trade it in for, I basically would have walked away clean. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have had to pay all the extra, the nonsense stuff. Probably like some dealer fees and all that. That's a scam. You really don't have to pay dealer fees. That's just the way they make their money. But it is what it is. So he, I was like, yeah, but I ain't trading my Mustang again. He looked at me and he just had this regret on his face. He's like, man, oh no, he was like, yeah, I ended up, trading the Mustang in for a Harley. I said, bro, what the hell are you talking about? I said, yo, keep the Mustang and the Harley. Those two go together. You got a muscle car and you got this aggressive bike. Harleys are just when you got a Harley and a muscle car, especially an old muscle car, like he looked at me with such regret. He's like, yo, I regret it. And my son was basically telling me, or I don't know if it's a son or not, but he was like, yeah, you should if you was gonna trade, you should have got a pickup truck. Every man needs a pickup truck. So that was a fact. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Are you ready to buy your first supercar? This is Hamilton.
Trading
Hamilton
like
has a
gambling. I
bunch
treat
of
trading like a
has a bunch of supercars. Like he's
Today we're
actually
going
a
to be talking
billionaire.
about how much you should make before you buy your first supercar, and then how much you should be making kind of along the way as you progress up in the supercar chain. Now, take it from a guy.
That's my baby right there. If y'all know, you know. That is my baby right there. All different types too. E1s, 620s, 720S. Beautiful.
That owns over $20 million worth of cars and 25 plus super and
Some
hypercars.
coffee, no
Listen up,
snacks.
there's going to be a lot of awesome information. First up is the starter supercar.
See?
Now, before I get into the supercar, I want to mention that I didn't actually buy my very first supercar until I was 35 years old in 2018. I'm a pretty conservative guy. I'm pretty cautious, and I'll get into some other things that you should look out for before you go buy your first supercar. There's a lot of important things that should be taken care of first. So I say that this is the starter car because not only is it one of the...
Man, if y'all don't know who Hamilton is, you better do your research. This dude literally he actually started a tire company when he was like 19, I believe. And Hamilton ended up becoming like a billionaire off of tires. And he does like customs and certain, um, I forgot what uh auto part, but I know it's like tires and something else. But Hamilton got, woo, his car collection is over $30 million. Easy.
lower end on the price spectrum, but it's also a car that I bought on
All types
Copart.
of
I paid
stuff.
$85,000 for this, and it had some light front end damage. We were able to fix this up pretty cheap. It was probably under about $15,000 to get this thing fully fixed up. So all in, I was a little over $100,000 to get this one-of-one maritime blue rear-wheel drive Audi. Now I say it's the RWS rear-wheel drive model because that actually saves a lot of money. I think those are about $20,000 to $30,000 cheaper. But a lot of people don't know it just by looking at it. So essentially, you've got this cheaper car that's rear-wheel drive, saves you money, had some damage on it, and I was willing to fix with it. When you get a starter supercar, what you shouldn't do is exactly what I did, and that's put a bunch of modifications on it. So I did an Alpha A10 twin turbo kit on this, exhaust system with downpipes, spoiler, and wheels.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna buy like a car, an exotic with a little bit of damage. Just hook it up myself because I have the funds to do so. And by all means, I still do, but I don't think it's a smart investment. Like he says, you got to make a certain amount.
That probably cost me in all about $70,000 to $80,000. It did get a lot more performance out of it, but not money well spent because I'm probably only going to see maybe 30 to 40K of this when I go to sell it. So I'm just pointing it out that it has mods. Probably not a good idea if this is your starter car. All right, so Google will tell you that you can basically afford 10% of your annual income to spend on a vehicle. So if you make $100,000 a year, then you can put $10,000 a year towards your car payments. Now, that's pretty accurate, but there definitely are some things that you can flex on, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a little bit. There's some cool tricks where you can basically allow yourself to afford a little bit more of an expensive car depending on what stage of life that you're in. Now, because this car was around $100,000 all in, the payment was right around $1,600 a month when I did a 4.5% interest rate with 10% down. You should be able to put 10% down as well. If you can't put that 10% down, you're probably not ready to afford a vehicle.
Honestly, my wife's uncle is a GM of Nissan. Like 20%, just like you do on a house, will secure it faster. I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong, but let's say your credit is kind of bad. 20%, let them know you're more serious when it comes to your loan and stuff like that. So I wouldn't put down 10%. I would wait till I have 20%. I know people probably like that's dumb as hell, and it could be, but um it's all about doing your research. So that's what I do. I'll do my research and find out. But I think 20% is better. You're and plus it might lower. I don't know. It will lower your cost a little bit. Not too crazy. Not too much, but
That one I do agree with, and I would stick with that. If you can't put the 10 grand down on a 100 grand car, you're probably not ready for a supercar. A $1,600 payment per month is about $20,000 a year. So you need to make about $200,000 a year to be able to afford this. An even easier rule of thumb is basically take your income, cut it in half, and that's the amount of car that you can afford. You make $200,000 a year, you can afford a $100,000 car if you finance it. More on that in just a little bit. Next up is the clout level supercars. So these are the supercars that are a little over $200,000. Really, they only manufacture supercars. So Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, they only build supercars. And these are the cars that you typically want to flex or make a statement with. This is my 2017 Ferrari 488 GTB. I paid $220,000 for this about 2 years ago. Let's get into the current market. I promised you that I would, and it is stupid crazy.
look at the rims on that. That is so clean.
So, this car is currently going for just under $300,000 after me putting about 8,000 miles on it and after 2 years. That never happens. This is not a good market to buy a supercar that is in the clout level or in the Audi level that I just went over. Do not buy a supercar right now. Do not. You are gonna get hammered in just a little bit. I worry about local car dealers that have a lot of inventory of supercars. There is a bubble that is gonna burst once the supply chain thing gets figured out. and it's going to be bad. That said, there is a supercar that I just bought, and I'm going to go over in a little bit why that one was an awesome purchase, and I still would have gone and bought it, even in the current market. Let me give you one of the most ridiculous examples of how bad this market is. My very first supercar that I bought, 2018, was a 2015 Lamborghini Aventador. Big flex, clout car for sure, right? Paid $312,000 for it, put 10,000 miles on it. Just a few months ago, after owning it for 4 years, I made almost $50,000 selling that car. Now that $312,000 car should have been worth about $200,000 in a normal market. We're talking.
Nah, see, the thing is with Lamborghinis are actually very good with appreciating in value. Certain parts will appreciate in value. So what you do is, if you do get there's a guy, it's a Asian dude. He is like, I think that's all he buys is like Lambos and stuff like that. He actually was on YouTube and they called him to come out to like an exclusive party and stuff because he's so well known. I think he lives in like California. Like maybe if y'all know who I'm talking about, put him in the comments. Bro buys Lamborghinis and he makes good money off selling them. So Hamilton's right. You would think that that car from like think he said what 312,000. Now he wouldn't get $50,000 over or make a profit of 50K um if it was any other car. The car would
About $150,000 difference selling it at 360 where it should be worth low twos. Dangerous, scary market. Avoid buying supercars right now. Wait until that bubble gets back down to where everything is well below MSRP. Another thing.
Yeah, he talking about market. So honestly, it does depend on the market, but the brand also depends too. Lamborghinis do appreciate, especially if you got one that is, you know, that is high demand. You know what I'm saying? So
To look out for is depreciation. In a normal market, again, this is a
I like that
stupid
plate.
market that probably will
There
never
you
happen
go.
again. But in a normal market, you're going to lose about 20% of that car's value in the first year. So you go buy a $300,000 car, you better believe that thing's going to be worth 240 grand or less. That's a big loss in value, and that's literally $60,000 off of the total asset amount that you own. So we talked about the clout level supercar being in the $200,000 to $300,000 range. As I mentioned, this was $220,000. That means that you need to have a salary of around $440,000 a year to be able to afford a car like this. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Probably more than you expected.
What you say?
$20,000. That means that you need to have a salary of around $100,000 range. As I mentioned, this was $220,000. That means that you need to
No, that's right. So if you have kids, you got a home, you got home expenses. Let's say you live in a house, your mortgage may be $4,000. Your expenses like 2 to 3,000. That's 7,000 right there. Um, let's say you tying everything together. You know, $7,000. Um, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? 7,000. It's 84 grand. You know that you're gonna spend on taking care of your household. Now, if you're making $440,000 a year minus that 80, you still got like 350 something thousand to play with. Like you know what I mean? So spending if you're not like high end, high maintenance, or you live above your means, yeah, you could go buy you could go buy really nice things, but just be smart, be conservative, be frugal, spend. You know, frugality is very important when you got money. And not the rich stay rich because they don't spend all their money. The rich, the ones that are like stinking rich, you won't even know they stinking rich because they got the regular degular on, and you're sitting there wearing $2,500 Balenciagas, $5,000 Louis purse. Like, so if y'all spending money like that, honestly, wait till you get to a certain level where if you spend 5,000, like spending $50, or if you can afford 500, well, you know what I mean? To each his own dog.
have a salary of around $440,000 a year to be able to afford a car like this. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Probably more than you expected. Again, we'll talk about ways to get around that in just a little bit. Since I'm an owner at Fitment Industries, Custom Offsets, MA Performance, and a slew of other online automotive companies, I have to represent this vehicle with some awesome wheels. A lot of my vehicles have aftermarket wheels. This one is no exception. I have the carbon aero piece. I have the full Vorsteiner aero
Y'all heard it. The dude got crazy amount of business, but he's a billionaire.
kit. Again, not a great idea to add a bunch of
Hamilton, bro.
modifications like
Give
this
me a
that
job, bro.
are $20,000 to $30,000 in value. But boy, does it
Drive
make this
around,
thing look
market
freaking
your
awesome, doesn't it?
products.
This is one of my favorite, most tasteful cars with the
Salary
aftermarket
of
modifications we made.
100,000.
Something
This is
extremely
fixed.
important to keep in mind as well is the insurance costs on these vehicles. Certainly more money than a typical average Chevy or whatever it may be. However, I have awesome, cheap insurance. Click the link in the description when we're done with this video, and you'll see a full vlog that we did on all the insurance costs for a lot of my vehicles. They are shocking. I promise you, literally shocking how awesome my rates are. While I say that, go talk to my boy Nate at Country Financial Insurance in West Chicago. Google that number, Bailey, throw it on the screen. Give this man a chance to to get you a quote. It's
every month.
Crazy, man. So it's so inspiring. Like these are the type of videos y'all need to be looking at.
shocking,
Videos where it
literally
shows-
shocking how awesome they are and how great the rate is. Next up is the investment slash enthusiast supercar. This one is a 2006 Ford GT. It was the second to last one that rolled off of the assembly line. This is a vehicle where you buy it. It may not be quite as much of a flex as a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, but you know that it's probably going to make you money in a normal market. Again, we're in a stupid market. Keep that in mind. This one I paid right around $300,000 for. Today's value puts it at $450,000 with this paint specification and the mileage. So at $450,000 in value, that means you need to make $900,000 a year to be able to afford this. Now we're going to segue into the part where there's a lot of different things in your life that can alter what you're doing, right? So a few of the questions that I get asked are, should I be investing my money elsewhere? Should I put it into my 401k? Should I be investing it in my business? I would say that there are a lot of very good questions, right? And if you have a great business, a solid idea that you're executing, your money should always go to your business first. If there's a business idea that you can grow, nurture, and you know will be successful, that's where I'm putting my money. And that's why I waited 15 years to go buy a super hypercar. I was not comfortable until I was there. Again, I'm quite conservative with that. 401k, by far the best bang that you can get for your buck. Your company matches your 401k, so you literally get 100% return on your 401k. Make sure you fully invest into your 401k before you go buy a supercar, period. Best money that you can get. Real estate is also a super stable, awesome investment opportunity.
4% in real estate with your returns, you're better off putting your money in real estate. 401k and IRAs, I don't really believe in that because there are what's the correct word? Stipulations. There are certain things that can affect the 401ks and IRAs. Even with the housing industry, we gotta understand what's going on with the housing market. So when it comes down to it, I'd rather put my money in real estate and see it grow. Do a couple fix and flips. Me and my wife are actually about to. We just talked to an investor today. We're getting into real estate. I've been in real estate for a while now. It's kind of like a bloodline thing, you know what I'm saying? But no one's really ever helped me. I've helped myself. I almost became a realtor. Graduated real estate school twice. Never pursued my license, and I told myself the second time I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go for my license. I actually missed the test because uh, life happens. Certain things were taken away from my intent, distracting me. Man, it's all good. So I told myself whenever I get the opportunity that I'll be an investor in real estate. And that's what me and my wife are. We are investors in real estate. We're looking to do our first deal this year. So real estate, I don't believe in 401ks. Um, I'm very concerned. Like he said, he's conservative. I don't trust, you know, my money in certain places. Um, I day trade. And the reason why I day trade is because I like to get in and out, get that money, get in and out. I don't have to worry about you know, somebody holding on to my bread.
That you can have. And I also bought a lot of real estate before I bought any of my super hypercars. You can typically expect to earn around 20%. Now it's a little complicated how it works, but through appreciation, depreciation, and receiving rental income, it typically will equal that 20%. And that's a rare return that you're really not going to get on a supercar. So there really is a major just clout factor to owning a supercar. You'd be hard pressed to find someone that owned one that doesn't want just a little bit of clout. And to a lot of people that's important. Clearly, to some degree, it's important for me. So if clout is important to you, great. Go buy a supercar, flex your success. You worked hard for it, you deserve it. I have a lot of white collar people come up to me and say, how do you manage these cars? How do you try to make money out of them? And I tell them, I don't buy my cars as financial investments. I buy them as experience investments. I buy them to let people in them, experience them, go drive them, have fun in them. Really, it's all about just having fun and enjoying my vehicles.
Forgot that's what he does. So that's another thing. He buys cars and I think he has like an exotic rental. but he allows people to drive these cars. Now, the insurance for these must be crazy, especially when he has a collection as high as over $30 million. I really don't like this big gap right here. Like I don't like gaps. I like everything tight and sealed. You know what I'm saying? But me, if this car is 450,000, let's say it's rare. Depending on how rare it is, I would turn around and sell it. And look where he's at. This was probably a year ago. Look, he's doing real estate to this. Like this dude's got money. And look how he dressed. Does he look like he got money? I'm talking about the level, like billionaire. No.
If I can make some money, great,
Does he
but that
look
is
like he
certainly
has money? Yes, but does he look like he's billionaire without money? No. Like look at the fit. You know, he looks like a working man, working husband, dad. He's doing his thing. But what?
not on the forefront of my mind when I'm going to buy these. Of course, when I do buy a vehicle, I am actually very frugal. I do look at used vehicles when I can. We'll talk about a new vehicle and how that was, again, one of my best investments that I've made. Usually a new vehicle is not. But usually I'm very frugal. I will go shop and find the color that I want, and I will go find the cheapest one that makes sense and is in good mechanical condition.
So I gotta skip Hamilton.
Very dangerous spiral that buying that supercar does elevate your status, and you can get yourself into financial trouble. So be careful for that. Make sure that you always have that comfort blanket to be able to afford your rent, something that might go wrong with your house, blah, blah, blah. This is a limited edition, need to have an existing relationship with the dealer, serious collector car. This one you cannot get right now for less than double the MSRP. Because I have a relationship with McLaren, they were able to get me an allocation for this vehicle.
You see what I'm talking about? He got a relationship, just like I explained about the Asian guy who has a relationship with Lamborghini. They literally call him for exclusive parties to come check out new vehicles, hang around big time investors, and that's a different type of clout. When McLaren said, "Hey, we got a limited edition," bro's not paying two times MSRP. That's what we pay. He probably paid just
I just had to trade in my 720S with them. This is my 2022 McLaren 765 LT Spider. The MSRP on this thing is $440,000, which means you need to make, again, like the Ford GT, almost $900,000 to be able to afford this. Very expensive. However, the unique thing about this car that I discussed earlier, or I alluded to, was that I paid $440K for this. They are going for double that. So they are going for nearly $900,000 because it is a rare vehicle. They only produce 765 of these. Extremely hard to get right now in the Spider model. They actually stopped production of this. So this is a great opportunity that you can get when you know you go pay it, you're going to double your money right away. This is almost the investment quality. You can go turn and flip and make a buck right away with a car like this. Problem with that, or the risk, is that if you go do that, then you're probably going to lose a future allocation with McLaren. So you're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And the relationship with McLaren is very important. In fact, if I didn't own my P1, my Senna, or the 720S that I traded in for this, there's probably no way in hell that I would have got this allocation. Because I knew this car was rare and it was going to be worth more than what I paid for it, I actually went and did all the specifications myself, and I tried to add a couple rare things that I thought would add more value to this. This thing is stacked full of carbon and a lot of awesome stuff. One of my big things is color matched interiors, of course. You'll see that on a lot of cars that I'm starting to spec now. I would never, I want to be very clear that I will be very hard pressed to go buy a brand new supercar if I think that it is going to depreciate. Even with having a collection as big as mine, you probably will not go see me buy a new supercar if I can go get one that's 2 or 3 years old, the same body, low mileage, and go save like 20%. Right now in this market, you're basically paying MSRP for a 3-4-year-old car, so it's crazy. And again, I'm just not buying right now. But I know that this bubble will pop, and in a year or two, there'll probably be great opportunities to get some really cheap supercars again.
nice. Shout out Hamilton and Hamilton Collection. I need a job. Um, hey, the side hustle don't stop. I don't care how many businesses I have. If somebody offer me a 6 figures to come work with them, I'm definitely do it. Especially, it's not just a job, but it's the experience. Like you gotta have a passion to be around this much money and these amount of cars. Like what? Listen, I'll park these suckers. You know what I'm saying? For a nice 6 figures. You know what I mean? I ain't going under 6 figures. I know my worth. You know what I mean? I know 6 figures uh, uh, go straight into more investments. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was a dope experience. This is something light. You know, after I'm still sick, you can hear it in me. Um, this coming and learning something. Maybe this is what the channel needs. We need to learn about how to get some money. Billionaire Chase. How do you make money, Chase? What are you interested in? Yes. Honestly, now I'm gonna give y'all my opinion about this 765 LT Spider McLaren. If I got, if I allocated, if I was able to get a call from McLaren, that's been like a dream to work with McLaren. You know what I mean? Favorite supercar. They called me and said, "Hey, trade your 720S in for a limited edition." Yeah, but I couldn't sell it. Damn, I'm about to sneeze. But I couldn't sell it. Ah, I would do it. Because the relationship is more than just about making the money. You obviously are making some type of money. If you can purchase a 720S, P1, um, 765, any of those, like the 600s or whatever, like any McLaren, you're like, yeah. So I would, keep my relationship with McLaren. It would be very, very hard. The only time I would have a discussion if I ever fell into hard times with McLaren is like, listen, I'm falling into hard times. I am not able to make any more money or my money is on hold or whatever, God forbid, and I need to sell this car. He can almost get an M for that. That's clean. You know what I'm saying? That's clean, bro. And that's always been a goal of mine. So if y'all see me start buying some cars on the channel, we're gonna do some IRL in here. Buying some cars, you know, having them appreciate, finding the right market. The way he analyzed the car market is the way I analyze the entire market, the entire industry. You know, so that's always good to know. He knows when there's booms. He knows when we're in a bullish market. He knows when we're in a bearish market because he's like right now we in a bearish market. You ain't gonna get, or we in a bullish market. We're not gonna get a nice car at a decent price, especially a 2 or 3 year old car, even a new car. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Hamilton Collection. Great video. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I definitely will try to put out more video. Hopefully my voice don't sound like this. I'm congested, nasally. I need to just get better. I'm gonna go work out again. I haven't stopped. First day back, had a little rest. We done with school, so I should be posting more videos until the next semester. And boy, the dean's list again. Honor roll. You feel me? Back to that 4.0. Hey, BPs, God bless. Love you.